Once upon a time, in a grand golden kingdom surrounded by crystal rivers and emerald fields, there lived a beautiful princess. Her beauty was so dazzling that nobles from faraway lands came to seek her hand in marriage. But the princess had a heart full of pride. She would sit upon her shining throne, mock the suitors who came before her, and laugh at their faults. One had hair too curly, another's voice too deep, and one nobleman she called as dull as winter snow. Then came a kind and handsome king whose beard was shaped a little oddly. It curved like a bird's beak. The court whispered that he was brave and wise, but the princess only giggled and called him King Thrushbeard. The court went silent at her insult. The king bowed politely, but walked away with sadness in his eyes. Her father, the old king, grew angry. "My daughter," he said sternly, "you mock every good man. You must learn that pride has no crown." But the princess only smiled, thinking herself above all. Days later, the princess's father made a royal decree. "Since you scorned every noble suitor, you will marry the first beggar who appears at our gates." The princess gasped in horror, but the king's word was law. One morning, a poor musician stood at the castle gates, singing for coins with his broken lute. His clothes were torn, his shoes worn thin, and his voice soft but kind. "This is your husband," said the king. The princess cried and pleaded, but no one listened. The ceremony was held that very day. The proud princess became the wife of a beggar. She left her palace in tears, carrying nothing but a small bundle of clothes. The people watched in silence as the royal bride walked away beside her humble husband. The journey to her new home was long and bitter. The princess stumbled over stones and mud. Her fine shoes tore apart, and her soft hands grew blistered. When they reached a tiny cottage on the edge of the forest, the beggar smiled softly. "This is our home," he said. "You must learn to work, for there is no servant here." The princess, unused to any hardship, struggled to cook, spin wool, and sweep the floor. Everything she tried ended in failure. The beggar never scolded her, but simply said, "You must keep trying." Soon hunger and poverty became her teachers. To earn food, she had to weave baskets and sell them in the market. The townspeople mocked her clumsy ways, and her pride began to fade. For the first time, she saw the world through humble eyes. One day, a grand feast was announced in the nearby kingdom. The beggar told his wife to sell her wares there. When the princess entered the shining halls, she was astonished. It was her father's old palace. Everything gleamed with light and laughter. At the center sat King Thrushbeard himself, the same man she once mocked. Ashamed, the princess tried to hide, but the guards brought her before the king. She trembled, expecting punishment. Instead, the king spoke gently. "Tell me, fair lady, have you learned what pride can cost?" Tears filled her eyes. "Yes, my lord," she whispered. "I mocked what I did not understand. Now I know that kindness and humility are worth more than crowns or jewels." Then, before her eyes, the beggar stepped forward and took off his ragged cloak. His worn clothes vanished, replaced by a royal robe of deep blue and gold. The princess gasped. It was King Thrushbeard himself. "I disguised myself," he said softly, "to teach you that true nobility lies in the heart, not in titles." The princess fell to her knees, overcome with shame and gratitude. "I was proud and cruel, yet you showed me mercy," she said. King Thrushbeard lifted her gently. "Rise, my queen. You have learned what no crown can teach." They were married once again, this time with love, laughter, and understanding. The proud princess had become a wise and humble queen. And so, in the kingdom where pride once reigned, humility brought peace. From that day forward, King Thrushbeard and his queen ruled with kindness, and the sound of the thrush's song echoed forever through their happy castle. Moral: true beauty shines not in pride, but in humility and love.